Hello Bike Nation, my name is Andrew Yamaland and we're here in Dubai on a nice brisk morning, and I wanted to introduce my Bonnie, the sweet baby. It's a 2014 Triumph Bonneville T100. So this Bonnie, I initially came from Thailand. It was stock and bought in Thailand and shipped over to Dubai, to the UAE, and then I bought it from a friend secondhand. And the idea was, when I first rode it, just to give it a test drive. But I fell in love with it and decided I wanted to buy it from him. And after that, I kept changing small parts on it to keep it old school theme. Not necessarily cafe racer, but more of the old school look. Just stripped down, bare minimum, except there are a few accessories on here that are not old school, such as the double headlights in front, and also some of the rear view mirrors, and the black exhaust. So let me take you into further detail about actually what was done on this. And by no means am I a professional, it was just out of love and passion for the bike. So the first thing we did was we took off the fenders. The front fender, as you know, classic Triumph, has the license plate on the top and a long fender in front. But as you know, Dubai gets no rain, so there was no point to have that front fender. So we took it off in lieu of the minimalist approach, and that was the front. The back one, again, came all the way down to the seat with the license plate in the back and two headlights. And I didn't like that look, so we took that off as well and made sure that the customization of the seat, which was a box seat, came out to here, took that off as well, shortened the seat to give greater exposure to the back tire, which is also another knobby tire that we took out. So initially there were slicks on it, but we put knobby tires on to give that more manly, more beefy look to it. Old school is what we were going after. The second thing we did was we stripped out the gas tank. If you'll notice on a lot of the Bonnevilles, they have the knee pads here and the standard single color with the old metal strip. So old school really was just a paint job. So we did this classic black and white was the theme throughout, is what we tried to achieve. And then the last thing we did was the seat, as I said, took it off, chopped it completely custom. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than what was there before. One of the other things that we looked at doing, as I said, was to chop the seat for old school. But before we did that, the fender came down and it had the license plate out here. So we completely removed that, took the fender off, and then the question was where to put the license plate. So what we decided to do was to put it on the side with a rotating, so we can put it in or you can actually put it out. So that's another option to, again, just aesthetics to make it look old school. One more thing that we did regarding the bike was the headlight. You generally see your standard Bonnies have an old school, big old headlight in front. But what we wanted to do was try to differentiate that from others. We thought about doing one with all of the LED lights, with the change of the colors and all that, but I felt that was really not in line with old school, school with a K. So what we did was try to differentiate it, as I said, by then putting two headlights on to give it a different look. So this is what we came up with, the two together. So you have high beam, low beam. We even thought about doing some low, but I felt that was not in line with the initial theme of old school. So indicators as well. Initially there were plastic indicators that came way out. Didn't like the look of that. So even though it's old school, we did go with some new technology, but we kept it minimalist with the classic black paint finish. And these work both as brake lights and also indicators as well. So the exhaust system, the initial Bonneville had a long chrome piece here with a tiny little tube that came out. And we didn't like that look at all. So what we did was we took that off altogether. We got another matte black finish for the exhaust, shortened it up to just outside the inside of the back tire. And then what we did was cut this out and put the fastener on. The second thing we did was, this was all chrome throughout, and what we did was then decide to wrap it in the white instead of black to try to get a little more white onto the black and white theme of the old school. One of the factors with the rims you see here, we initially thought about an alloy matte black. We also thought about doing some type of power-coated spokes and rim, but again, we just felt that this was more old school and it would offset some of the black and would be more old school. At that time, they didn't have the matte black finishes on those. As mentioned, I'm not a professional customized person. This is not something I do. It's just something that I love, something that I have passion for. And as I said, once you ride it, once you hear it belching and burping and get to feel the low torque range that it has, it is just a fantastic feeling. And it really makes you forget all the stress and all the worries you have in life.